Ferran Torres arrived at the international debate like a message scribbled in the margins of someone else's plan, brief, bright, impossible to ignore. For weeks his name was one among many on a long list, a player whose speed and technique hinted at potential, but who rarely seemed to be the obvious, unquestioned choice when Spain thought about a centre-forward. That changed quickly under Hansi Flick at Barcelona. 2 league starts, 2 goals, moments that are small in isolation but together become a pattern. That pattern is what now sits on Luis de la Fuente's desk as he prepares for qualifiers against Bulgaria and Turkey. A forward who presses like a disruptor, moves like a scavenger for space, and finishes with the calm of someone who has suddenly convinced himself he belongs in the box at the right second. The context behind this surge matters. Spain are not a team that wants a striker who only hangs on the shoulder of the last defender waiting for chances to come. They want one who participates in the pattern, who can shrink the field for opponents with a press that starts high and precise, who can drag defenders off their lines and open lanes for the midfield runners Spain prizes. Under Flick at club level, Ferran has been asked to do exactly that, to lead the press, to play as a central outlet at moments, to be both a threat on the shoulder and a helper in build-up. Those are the exact traits the national setup has been missing when Morata's form has faltered at Como and Spain have lacked a fully match-ready tactical 9 in recent windows. It is tempting to reduce all of this to headlines, a Torres to replace Morata, but the real story sits in the granular details of how he plays. His long-range strike against Mallorca wasn't an accident. The technique and timing behind it reveal a player comfortable stepping out of the box and creating danger from distance. His opportunistic finish from a corner against Levante spoke to instinct, arriving at the right moment, reading the trajectory, converting a chaotic situation into a goal. Those 2 instincts, the composed strike and the striker's sixth sense, are complementary, and they have shown up together at a time when Spain need them. At 25, Ferran is not an 8 phenomenon. He is a young professional at a point of acceleration, the sort of player who has accumulated learning and is now applying it under different coaching demands. Approaching his 50th cap for La Roja and sitting on 21 goals, he carries a statistical momentum too. Milestones matter in national team narratives because they are shorthand for trust, experience, and a player's growing place in history. For De La Fuente, the decision is about fit rather than fashion. Does he pick the man with club rhythm and tactical alignment, or the established name whose confidence is more fragile right now? Choosing Ferran would be a statement about evolution, about Spain accepting a forward who presses from the front and helps the team reclaim control in transition. For the qualifiers, the tactical implications are clear. A Ferran-led front would allow Spain to press higher, to play with more verticality from the wings, and to rely on midfield runners to exploit the spaces his movement creates. It would also force opponents, Bulgaria and Turkey, to re-evaluate their defensive shape, to respect the runner arriving from deep rather than only marking a stationary target. The stakes are not only about 2 fixtures, they are about a potential long-term answer to a problem that has been present for a cycle. Who leads Spain's line when the pressure is highest? If Ferran starts, scores and contributes to the team's pressing shape in these qualifiers, the debate will move from is he an option to is he the option? That shift would carry consequences for selection, for morale, and for how Spain plan the next year toward the World Cup. For supporters of Barcelona, it feels like a club success translated to international utility. A player moulded into tactical usefulness at club level, now ready to deliver that usefulness for country. For neutral observers, it is a compelling plotline, a young forward finding his voice at the exact moment his nation needs answers. Watch the next qualifiers not just for the goals, but for the patterns, where Ferran presses, how defenders react, and whether Spain's midfielders learn to run the channels he opens. Well, if the signs keep aligning, form, fit and confidence, Ferran Torres could be the name that finally settles Spain's striker search, and a homegrown solution might become the foundation of a very different La Roja attack.